One important thing is people are going to want to know what does the Office of Auditor do, and why are you qualified for that? What do you bring? Why are you seeking this office?
Well, the auditor, first of all, on the Minneapolis Park where we're audited, the auditor audits $20 billion tax dollars as they go to local government units. So they audit city, county, soil and water boards, the fire and police pension funds, school districts, a variety
Sounds pretty awesome.
4,200
All right.
local government units that receive state money. So there's a big staff. There's over 150 staff. And so I don't have to be at the actual bean counter. I'm not going to sit with my pen and be doing a lot of numbers, but I am going to have to understand regulations and policies of what does need to be highlighted in audits, and work to make sure that not only is my staff educated, but that the people that are out in the local government units are educated as to what they need to include. The current auditor just recently added a whole line about energy efficiency. And I want to take that a step farther and look at sustainability benchmarks, and what we call life cost cycling, and looking at economics in a different way, so that what's the impact on human beings? What's environmental damage is happening? Are there other things besides just numbers that need to be watched as your dollars are being spent? Sure. So the auditor's office reviews, does a lot of financial reviews. We have an investigative unit that, of course, looks for fraud and misappropriations of monies. And
well, that's a kind of important point. Look what happened out in California here, and we're talking millions of dollars. Just people were shocked in Los Angeles.
That was something this week. Yeah, right, just south of LA. But actually, here we've had some stories. It's not as bad as a lot of people think. The thing is the media picks up on it.
Sure.
So these are the stories that everybody hears.
Right.
Of course. But for instance, a story, one of the more recent stories was out in Shakopee, and one of the county workers who ended up showing up at the casino all the time, and even the casino workers were curious, because when they go to the casinos, after a while, you start talking to employees or whatever. So they knew that this person was a county worker. And they couldn't figure out how was she getting money every day to be able to come. Well, eventually it caught up. Sure. And, we look at the Denny Heckers and the Tom Peters and all these Ponzi schemes. But what it is what's the concern here is it's your tax dollars. It's my tax dollars.
And especially with the tight money, we're talking projection of maybe being $2 or $3 billion, maybe even $6 billion.
$5 to $6 billion.
So we're talking, when you're talking billions of dollars, you start talking real money there, Annie.
Yeah, it's not our checkbooks. But you and I, with our checkbooks and our families, we're having to make cuts.
Sure. Definitely.
And we're having to make changes.
Well, it's a state law. You have to have a balanced budget. So.
Well, yeah, and then, yeah. Well,
I don't know how did Tim Pawlenty get away with this for years? I don't know.
Well, and the whole federal government scene and everything else.
Yeah.
But I think that's something to point out, is that the auditor is there to. I think it is part of the check and balance system.
Well, definitely, most definitely.
And so I do believe that I've got proven leadership. I've been very involved in environmental and nonprofit groups. I think I have a fresh perspective. And I believe I have political independence, that I'm not beholden to the two major parties and the corporatization of those parties that has happened.
Well, maybe people could get more of a general idea too. What issues